For the 213th day, Ukraine has been resisting a full-scale Russian invasion. The fact and window teams work for you. Today, at dawn, the Russians again shelled Marginets with Grad anti-aircraft guns. They hit a bakery and injured 3 people. A 51-year-old woman and a 49-year-old man were injured. Both wounded were hospitalized. The woman is in serious condition. There was significant destruction in the city. A bread factory was mutilated, 18 private houses were affected. 5 high-rise buildings, farm buildings. A fire broke out as a result of the shelling. Several cars burned. More than 2,000 families were left without electricity. Russian troops also shelled the Chervonogrogoris community. It was bombarded with Uragan anti-aircraft missiles. Here, according to preliminary data, fortunately, no one was injured. The Russians again, for the 3rd night in a row, hit Zaporizhia with rockets. One of them was shot down by anti-aircraft fire. Several hit infrastructure facilities on the outskirts of the city. Another one hit the roof of a residential building in the Right Bank district. This blow was fatal for an elderly resident, and several other people were injured. From the scene of the tragedy, Andriy Poshev. At 4:30 in the morning, smoke rises above the roof of a residential building where a Russian rocket hit. Rescuers are already rushing there. The rescuers reach the upper floors to help the victims get out into the yard. A bus was arranged for the terrified tenants, so that they could at least warm up. A powerful explosion rang out. Alexander has an apartment on the 2nd floor. He says that it thundered so powerfully on the mountain that the furniture in the apartment was gutted. The man immediately rushed to his son's room. Everything crumpled like a house of cards, cupboards, interior doors, everything that could. And I ran to my son. That is, on the glass, barefoot. We still need to pull out the wreckage. I pushed him and saw that he was alive. Denis and Inna are cleaning the broken window glass from the neighboring house. They already know that a Russian missile killed a 65-year-old woman. 9 residents were injured.
In this situation, I only feel sorry for people. Innocent people you know are suffering, and you yourself are under God.
The history teacher, Mr. Mykolaya, also lives in the neighborhood. He moved in with a friend a few weeks ago from Kremotsk. He still cannot believe that such things are happening in the modern world. I don't understand. We live in the 21st century. How is this aggressor? I don't know. They are sick. They need to be treated. His neighbor Vitaly has a completely different opinion. He said that science is powerless in relation to those who aim rockets at residential areas. They are simply single-celled. You can't call them anything else. Scoundrels. That's all. There is no other name for them. And what? Will we have any relations with them now? This will not happen for 100 years. They should go to us on their knees and ask for our forgiveness. At the end of the investigative actions, rescuers and utility workers begin to eliminate the consequences, to dismantle the debris and clear the passage for heavy equipment. There was an administrative office on the 1st floor of the building. His employees are trying to save at least some documents. The house should be examined by engineers for the integrity of the main structures. Government officials offer temporary shelter in a kindergarten to people who, thanks to the Russians, instantly became homeless. Andriy Pokhtov, Artem Dezhenkov, the Window Program, STB, Jediny Noviny. 2 two-story buildings and 5 private houses were damaged as a result of rocket fire in Mykolaya, Donetsk region. It was reported in the military administration. That night, the Russian army attacked the city with S-300 missiles. Uspenivka and Hanivka were hit by enemy rockets. Private estates were also damaged there. The occupiers shelled Kharkovo with rocket systems of salvo fire. The Russian army began the morning with shelling of Avdiivka. The building of the coke chemical plant and residential buildings were damaged by enemy fire. It passed without casualties or injuries. But last night in Donetsk region, enemy shelling took the lives of 2 civilians, and 3 more were wounded. Russian troops shelled Kharkiv Oblast again the day before. 5 people were injured in the Kupian district. Among them are 2 children. These are sisters 10 and 17 years old. In the Chugoyevsky and Izyum districts, 2 men were blown up by landmines in the forest while collecting mushrooms. They are treated with mine explosive injuries. The military administration of the region urges not to visit the forests in the de-occupied territories. They are literally filled with deadly enemy creeps. In the past day alone, pyrotechnics have neutralized almost 600 explosive items in the region. The title of Hero of Ukraine was posthumously awarded to the fallen defender Serhii Sova. His body was discovered in a mass grave after the deoccupation of Izyum. The decree was signed by President Volodymyr Zelensky. The day before, they said goodbye to the fallen soldier in Nikopol. The photo of his hand with bracelets in the colors of the Ukrainian flag became known throughout the world. By these and other characteristic features, Serhii was recognized by his wife. In his hometown, people met the coffin with the soldier's body on their knees. We saw the hand and immediately understood that it was Sergei, because he always walked with these bracelets. His bracelets were faded, but he had them since 2014. It turns out that we are losing the best in this war. And the enemy gets rid of his garbage. 36-year-old Serhii Sova had the rank of senior sergeant. He fought in 2014 and worked as a dog handler at a local metallurgical plant. He signed up to serve in the 93rd Brigade on the eve of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine by Russia. We did boxing with him. The war ordered that he went to the 93rd. And I to the 57th Brigade. Always cheerful, always supported the fighting spirit. We spoke with him by phone. He said, "Guys, just hold on." The photo of Serhii's hand with a blue-yellow bracelet, which flew around the world, became a symbol of Russian crimes against Ukrainians. Serhii is survived by his wife, a 9-year-old daughter, and a 14-year-old son. In Crimea, about 90% of summonses for mobilization were received by Crimean Tatars, according to the non-governmental organization Crimea SOS. According to analysts, such figures may indicate a hidden genocide of the Crimean Tatar people. The President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, also announced the extermination of the indigenous population of Crimea in his latest address.